What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the Nadeem X channel. I'm your host Hassan Nadeem, and as you know, today we got some trippy like conspiracy TikToks to react to today. As you know, I haven't been posting in a while, but it's a-okay. You know, as long as we get back on the grind, we're finna be good and be consistent. It's important to be consistent and not completely flop on this YouTube thing. You know what I'm trying to say? But today we got some crazy videos to react to. I was putting these videos together and I was like, dang, this is gonna be a banger, you know? And as you know, the World Cup happened. A lot of conspiracy theories revolving around that, it being scripted and etc. You know, so overall, it's gonna be a pretty good video and I hope you guys stay tuned for it. And I ask that you comment down below what type of video you guys did like, so I can show you guys out in the next video. And if you go down to the comments and you're gonna see my email there, just send in your videos because I do want to see the videos that you guys like, and also you can get a shout out from that as well. Without further ado, guys, I just ask that you get your chips, get your drinks, get everything you need to be comfy, lay down on your couch, chillax. You know, this is a time for us just to be entertained and for entertainment purposes only. And whatever I'm showing you guys here, just do your own research, get into the rabbit hole yourself, but don't go too far because then you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Today we got Slim Juice as our snack and some sparkling water. Gonna mix that together. There's only 10 calories in this. And I was trying to cut and I was trying to go on a diet, you know, and I was drinking this brand, this juice brand called Del Monte, and per serving, there's like 130 calories with 30 grams of sugar. And that was the reason why I wasn't losing anything, you know what I'm saying? So I had to make the switch, get to 10 calories per serving with 1 gram of sugar per serving. So I honestly, we're gonna see how it is. It does taste really good, so I'm gonna enjoy it. Without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. Let's go.
Is gonna blow your mind. The stars are really angels on the firmament. Now here's a guy filming a star with his telescope, and of course we should all know by now that they look nothing like NASA shows us with their fake photoshopped images. That is a light reflecting off of water. It looks alive. It looks conscious. In the Bible it says God put a firmament above the earth, and above the firmament is water, and the stars are fixed on the firmament. The angels are the messengers of God, or the heavenly hosts of the firmament, which God also called heaven. Here's another clip of someone else zooming in with a Nikon camera. They want you to think that these are billions of light years away, and yet you can zoom in with a camera? That looks nothing like a ball of fire. You'll find all throughout the Bible of angels being referred to as stars and stars as angels. Job 38:7, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Stars are singing. The angels of God are also called the sons of God. In Psalms, it says, He counts the number of stars, and He calls them all by name, naming the angels. And then we have Ezekiel's vision, one of the most famous descriptions of angels in the Bible, where he describes the cherubim, a type of angel, as wheels within wheels, intersecting one another. Take a look. That's exactly what we see when we zoom in on these stars. And I quote, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and the fire was bright. The creatures sped back and forth like flashes of lightning, and they sounded like rushing water. So going back to Job, it tells us that the angels are singing. Now cymatics is the study of how frequency, sound, and vibration can shape water and other matter into beautiful geometric patterns, which we also see strongly resembled in the stars. Each star, or angel, has their own unique geometric shape. They are the permanent music to our universe, constantly shining and shimmering their own tune. Just look at the rose windows of ancient churches. They knew this secret. They were trying to match the star's tone. And that's why they used to have all these organs and bells till all that was taken away from us. Now, follow me here. The stars are fixed to the firmament. They all go in a circular motion. They have their orbits, and that orbit is consistent. What you're seeing is a time-lapse of Polaris, the North Star. Now, Polaris is like the North Pole of the Earth in the celestial region, the heavenly region. And that's why it's the North Star. It's fixed. It does not move, and all the other stars revolve around it. Now, NASA says Polaris is 2 quadrillion miles away. 2 quadrillion. While the Earth is orbiting the Sun at 67,000 miles per hour, spiraling the Milky Way at 500,000 miles an hour, and yet the North Star has always been directly above the North Pole for thousands of years. That would mean that either A, the 2 quadrillion mile away Polaris would have to be perfectly mirroring Earth's simultaneous wobbling and spinning and spiraling, Or B, that the earth is fixed and the heavens rotate above us, just as the scriptures tell us. Here's one more verse, Revelation 1:20. Jesus says the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches. So Jesus is telling us clear as day, these stars are angels.
So we have some new information about Jeffrey Epstein's temple on Epstein Island. So we all know this building. It's one of the most mysterious things in the entire Epstein story. This is a temple that Epstein had built on his private island. But according to some new reporting, Epstein actually referred to this building as his mosque. Yes, you heard that correctly. He didn't call it a temple, he called it a mosque. Now, it's well known that Jeffrey Epstein had lots of connections to key figures in countries like Saudi Arabia, but he seemed to be particularly interested in Islam. For example, he collected key pieces and relics from the Islamic faith, like for example items from Mecca in Saudi Arabia, which is home to the Kaaba, a very famous pilgrimage site in the Islamic faith. Now, the tapestries that line the Kaaba, that cube that you just saw, are called the Kiswa. And every year at a cost of about $5 million, a new Kiswa is created to cover the Kaaba. And after the year is up, this fabric is then cut up into pieces and either donated to places like museums or even sold at auction. Now, here's a file from the Epstein files. You can see this was most likely taken on Epstein Island. This is a piece of the Kiswa, that garment. Somehow, Epstein had used his connections to gain this piece of fabric, which obviously holds high significance to those who practice Islam. And here's another image of Epstein checking out a different piece of fabric that he was able to obtain. This time, Epstein is pictured with Sultan Ahmed bin Salayem at his New York townhouse. They are once again looking at another piece that Epstein somehow acquired from the Kaaba, which is Islam's holiest shrine. Over the years, there have been hundreds, thousands of different theories about exactly what purpose this building served on Epstein Island and why exactly it was designed that way. But back in 2013, Epstein sent this picture to a designer, the designer that would go on to design the temple building on the island, and he essentially stated that he wanted his own temple, or mosque as he called it, to resemble this. This is an image of the Yalbuga Hammam in Aleppo, Syria, an old Turkish bathhouse which dates back to the year 1491. Interestingly though, Epstein even suggested at one point that they swap out the name of God for his own initials. You can see here in a recent report by the New York Times, Epstein writes, "Remember we saw the Arabic writing in black and white. Instead of Allah, I thought J's and E's." So he was literally trying to swap himself out for God. Interestingly though, this is the ceiling of the interior of the temple structure. And as you can see, these are astrological charts and the stars. There appear to be Greek gods and other beings on this ceiling. And obviously, this ornamental design doesn't really track with the mosque explanation. There are still so many questions surrounding this temple. I found this to be extremely interesting, but I'm going to stay on this story, so follow along for more updates.
Donald Trump has left instructions for his own death. This afternoon, the president has confirmed he has left a letter for Vice President J.D. Vance in the event of his death. In the event Iran were to assassinate Donald Trump, J.D. Vance is instructed, according to Trump, to bomb them like we've never seen before. The exact quote is to bomb them at levels they've never seen before. And it comes as a Trump Lego effigy has been burned in Tehran, the capital of Iran. It comes as Kill Trump signs are plastered all over downtown Tehran as millions come out to mourn the late Ayatollah Khamenei. And while here in the United States, Trump acknowledges that Iran may be planning to kill him. So much so that he did not take the newly minted Qatari Air Force One jet from Turkey back home. Why? Because of security concerns. And now Trump has made plans for if he were to die. Follow for more.
Things they told us were unhealthy and bad that have turned out to be really healthy. I'm getting annoyed at how many of these there are. Like salt. We were told is this devil white powder that if you eat it, you're gonna give yourself a heart attack and you're gonna shut down your kidneys. Now, why would they tell us that when there are gigantic studies of over 100,000 people that prove that eating too little salt is actually more dangerous than eating too much? The answer is worse than you think. Like most of the things we're told are bad for us, it prevents a lot of disease, specifically the profitable ones. Eating less than 3,000 milligrams per day of salt results resulted in more cardiac events than eating above the threshold they told us was dangerous. What disease right now takes up more medical expense than anything? Heart disease. What kills us at higher rates than anything else? Heart disease. But it doesn't stop there. Without sodium, we develop insulin resistance, destroying our thyroid, slowing our metabolism, and making it harder to gain muscle. Gotta listen to our doctors. Don't eat that salt. You could accidentally get in great shape and feel awesome all the time. But wait, there's more. Every single transmitter in our brain runs on sodium. When we deplete our sodium, each of them becomes less effective, drastically. Specifically, serotonin, dopamine, and our GABA receptors. Our joy, pleasure, and stress management. Those wouldn't happen to be the 3 most overprescribed psycho medications on the market, would they? Oh yeah, they are. Shattered when we crush our sodium. Ideal salt consumption ends up being about 5,000 milligrams per day.
Is this unassuming picture taken off the shores of Antarctica perhaps the most important photograph ever taken in human history? Stick around, I'll explain more. This man's name is George Rayner, and he's a biologist. And he unknowingly possibly took the most important picture in human history while he was down in Antarctica exploring whales. There is a large faction of people that believe what he captured here beyond the ice wall is actually the edge of our known world, the firmament. And that might sound crazy to you, but I'm going to provide you with some evidence that might make you think it's not so crazy. Let's first get a point of reference by looking at this GoFast rocket that was launched from Arizona that went straight up and at about 72 miles appeared to hit something, a barrier of some sort. And if we are potentially living under a dome and we look at Arizona, it would be closer to the highest part of the dome. So 72 miles here would lead to a lower resting dome down towards Antarctica. And when you scour the internet and you find encyclopedia information pre-NASA, this is what you find.
I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here is volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south.
So 72 miles high. And when you get closer to Antarctica, as in New Zealand and Australia, 13,000 feet is where they're saying the dome is, which is about 3 miles. So going from 72 miles down to about 3 miles. At some point, it seems like that is going to connect to the known grounds. And when you colorize this photo and look at it closer and compare what that looks like to the ripples of water, they look almost identical. And when you look at other photos from this man's camera, you see it's not just a phenomenon caused from the camera or the type of photography or even the lens, but it is very specific to this area here beyond the glacier or ice wall or whatever this is. It's specific to the background. So like I said in the beginning, is this photograph potentially the most important photograph that has ever been taken in modern history? And do the shape of rainbows actually reflect the fact that we are in fact living under a dome? God's special dome that he created to protect us from Lord knows what else is out there, because I think we're living in a little anthole in a much, much bigger flat realm. Oh, and I didn't even mention the fact that when you take a different perspective, you see what this mountain actually is. Mouth, nose, eyes, you know. But as always, you guys know I'm just joking. I know that's probably just the fact that the camera couldn't adjust the focus so it rippled. It's not actually frozen water, and we're not actually under a dome. We live on a globe spinning 400,000 miles per hour hurling through the universe. Of course, entertainment purposes. Have a great day.
Oh my God! Do these people not understand prophecy? Turkish foreign minister literally said verbatim what God said people will say and do. We are in the last of the last days. You know what? I'm gonna play what he said. You're gonna have to read the subtitles because he talks it in another language. If you don't feel like doing all that, you could just fast forward to my part. He called Israel an unbearable burden. The Bible says this verbatim.
İsrail sadece benim değil. İsrail dünyanın sorunu. Bunu da insanların ayrıca bir tartışması lazım ama herkes biliyor, hissediyor. Gizli köşelerde fısıldıyor, söylüyor. Zaman zaman da açıktan konuşuyor ama bunlar insanlığın ortak sorunu kardeşim. Yani bunun adını böyle koymak lazım. Bu adamlar insanlığın artık taşıyamadığı bir yük haline geldiler. Bu politikalarıyla, bu kafalarıyla.
Oh boy, he done messed up. Did you read what he said? He said that Israel is a problem for all people, not just Turkey's, which, by the way, Turkey is one of the mentioned nations in Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38 that goes against Israel. But he said all people. He said all people. He said that Israel is humanity's problem and a burden. He called Israel a burden. Have you not read Zechariah 12:3? God himself says, and in that day I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut into pieces, though the people of the earth be gathered against it. I want you to look at verbatim. He calls Israel an unbearable burden. God says he will make Israel an unbearable burden. Can't tell me the Bible's not real. God sees Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So when God says Jerusalem, he's talking about Jerusalem and Israel. Notice God says, I will make Jerusalem a burden. Not Benjamin Netanyahu, not the IDF, not the Israeli government, but I will make Jerusalem a burden. Sit with that for a second. God says, I will make Jerusalem a burden. And if you know anything about the God of the Bible, Yahweh, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, even if Israel is doing things that is unethical, I'm not saying they are, but just for conversation's sake, I don't think you understand how God gets back at people. When David slept with Bathsheba, God repaid David by having his wife, not personally inspiring it, but orchestrating so his wives would sleep with his son in front of everybody to embarrass him as judge. This isn't God's personality. And it's not evil, it's righteous. Specifically God's orchestration. So you could get mad at Israel all you want, but biblically and prophetically, God's the one that makes Israel a burdensome stone. Jesus is coming soon. If you don't know him, get to know him. And follow for more Bible prophecy content. One of the most asked questions that I get is, Ty, Jesus is coming soon. I want to know how to walk in my purpose. I recently started offering one-on-one sessions to help people with this. 1 hour Zoom sessions, life coaching. You can email me at tyjacksoncoaching@gmail.com to book your session or DM me the word coach on Instagram. These are other things that I offer help with.
Okay guys, pretty crazy news. Argentina's Football Association, the AFA, are under preliminary investigation by the FBI on suspicion of fraud and money laundering. Now this is according to a major newspaper in Argentina called La Nación. But of course, the timing of this just is absolutely horrific because although it's completely unrelated, this news is coming at the same time that the Argentina team are facing major controversy following their match against Egypt. So, what the hell is going on? Well, the matter is being looked into by the FBI, an American entity, because the company that manages the AFA's international commercial contracts is based in Florida. And investigators are essentially trying to trace how hundreds of millions of dollars, 260 reportedly, million, moved through major US banks and whether any of it amounts to fraud or money laundering. Now, the Argentine Football Association has firmly denied any wrongdoing, calling this reporting biased and unsubstantiated. Currently, no formal case is being opened against them and no charges have been put forth. But of course, I'll keep you guys updated.
I want Argentina to lose the World Cup so bad, and I'm just now realizing that this terrifying behemoth might be our only chance left. After Argentina's upset against the Egyptian team, which was fully rigged by the way, these are the current World Cup standings. As much as I would love to see Morocco win against France, Morocco is not favored to win. And out of everybody left, if I've got to pick somebody to root for, it is officially this frickin' guy. I mean, let's not forget Lionel Messi was praying at the Western Wall in Jerusalem, has pictures with Benjamin Netanyahu, and has visited Israel numerous times, not just in 2013 when this photo was taken, but again in 2019 and twice in 2022. He also found himself the subject of controversy in 2018 ahead of a scheduled friendly game between Argentina and Israel, which was slated to be played at a football club on stolen Palestinian land. And as such, the head of the Palestinian Football Association called that match a political tool. The match ended up being canceled because of widespread protests, but the head of the Palestinian Football Association was barred from all football activity for over a year because of this. So I need Norway to advance to the next round so that this man can knock Argentina out of the Final Four. This is the same man who embarrassed the Israeli team ahead of qualifications, doing a hat trick on them and using their own players to score a goal. And then when Norway won, they donated all of the proceeds of the match to Palestine. This dude might be a scary looking man, but we are rooting for him from here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Still, just the fact that Messi kissed the Wailing Wall, and as we know, a lot of the presidents, almost all the presidents have kissed the Wailing Wall, showing their allegiance to Israel, you know? And when a celebrity like Messi does it, it goes to show you, you know, like, he's definitely going to have that, the Jewish support, the Israeli support behind him, you know? Even when it comes to matches, when it comes to finances, when it comes to everything else, you know? And as we know, the World Cup didn't end the way the World Cup ended actually pretty good, but I believe it was scripted because of something that we're probably going to see in the video. But I'm happy Argentina lost, to be honest with you. I'm happy Spain won, you know, but I don't know, like, I want to tell you guys this, but I think we should wait throughout the video when the video does pop up. But I think one of my favorite players is Haaland. I like him a lot. I think the Norway team, they praise Jesus a lot. They talk about Jesus a lot, which I really appreciate, you know. That's good, especially talking about Jesus, especially in an industry like football, you know. That's not something that you really talk about a lot. So I really appreciate that. But yeah. What the heck is that?
Do not take your kids to see this. This Minions, and I know people go, oh, it's innocent, it's cartoon. No, they are doing seance witchcraft on these movies now, and I want you to see this little clip. This is very serious. They're summoning a octopus devil on a pentagram on this cartoon. The pentagram's in the background. Wow. They're on the back, and they have all these candles, and this is the demon, the octopus devil, come up out of the witchcraft they were doing. So they go over here, and they start doing this witchcraft again throughout the movie on this for this cartoon. Whoa. And they're summoning they're bringing forth, they're conjuring up this demonic witchcraft stuff. And they go, oh, it's innocence. No, it's not innocent. You're feeding your kids trash. Don't take your kids to see this. So, okay? You don't have to show them no more. It's evil, but you need to know it.
All the songs we listen.
That's crazy. And they put these things in children's TV movies, like the Minions movie, and we don't expect it to be too much. You know, we see like a little Illuminati thing. It's nothing too much. You know what I mean? But your kid's gonna go home rethinking that, probably inspiring from that, probably, you know, like continuing to watch content with similar like customs to the movie they just watched. You know, like. It's programming, you know what I mean? It's sad, you know. That's why you got to be really careful about what you feed your kids, you know. Especially, and I think that if you raise your kids properly, and if you raise them without an iPad, then you're doing things right. Firstly, you know, if you raise them by just like playing with toys and stuff like that, really exercising their child instincts, you know, and letting them develop their brain, then things are going to play out really well, you know. But yeah.
Two back in the 2010s that said, nah, we're worshiping the devil. Watch this.
That's facts. And a lot of those songs with Na Na Na in it, bro, those were like their like most popular songs too. So
just be careful, no, no, you got me singing na na na na. People say.
So after hearing that, me being who I am, anything the world tries to push, they always have an agenda behind it. So I did a little research. Nana is a Mesopotamian god. Nana is also referred to as, y'all ain't gonna believe this one, Sin. Sin is his name. Nana, aka Sin, also has children, and most notably is his daughter Ishtar, where we get Easter from. After reading up on Nana, it is said that one could petition him for help. He was responsible for guaranteeing abundance and growth, which would explain why his name was pushed so heavily during that period. During that period, clearly there was one songwriter who was prevalent across the entire board. Whoever wrote the songs that petitioned Nana for abundance and growth, for which he is known for, he used Nana's name to gain abundance and growth while at the same time having the entire world join in worshiping Sin. And we didn't even know it.
Now, I asked myself, is this kind of a stretch? So I started going through with ChatGPT and asking if ChatGPT if there was a such thing as Nana, an ancient god, and it was trying to go around the question. Finally, I got it as Nanna was a Mesopotamian god, however you want to say it. That was the moon god or whatever, and it was a representation of Sin. What he's saying here is facts, so you can't get around. They were indoctrinated, and I used to sing all those songs. That was back when I was in the world. So we were worshiping Sin. That's why sin has been so prevalent over the United States. That's why this deep darkness came in, and perversity and homosexuality and all the stuff that came in, because they indoctrinate you through your ears. When you understand the reality, oh, it's just a song, Brother Dave. No. It's an indoctrination to get you to accept what they want to promote, and you're worshiping the sin god, which is the devil. All fake little G gods are the devil. So you're worshiping the devil and you're worshiping sin when you're singing Nana, what's your name? Think about that. Grab hold of the truth. And if you want more truth, I would plug into my channel today.
Okay, hold on a second. What just happened at the Croatia versus Portugal soccer match action bread and circus situation has many people wondering if this was a test on human society today. What you're looking at right here is the viral clip that everyone's talking about, but for different reasons. So you see, Croatia had a critical offsides call against them, and it was based on this piece of evidence right here. They say that the ball touched this guy in blue's head. Look very closely, watch the rotation and spin of the ball. Does it look like it hit his head? No, but it definitely hit this guy's head. Well, apparently, a sensor in the ball detected that the ball hit his head. But watch very...
I know there's a sensor in the ball. Like, everything's sus about this, bro.
Closely. The ball didn't change its rotation as it spun past his head. And it actually looks like the sensor might have detected it bouncing off of this guy's head seconds after it missed that guy's head. But the computer says, the sensor says, it hit his head. So how does this, what am I talking about this being a test? This person posted, the final stage of technocracy is when they get you to deny what you can see with your own eyes. This is bigger than a sports game. This is a test to see what the general population will swallow. Turns out just about anything is possible. George Orwell, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And people have also been, like this guy got arrested because AI had a wrong match on his face, but the police were doing what the computer said. This is one of at least 15 or more known cases in recent years of people falsely being arrested with AI. So the question is, are people denying with their eyes and ears at the world's biggest bread and circus situation that's going on right now, denying with their eyes and ears and accepting what's being presented?
The skies over New York City turned red last night. Bright red. Now, if you remember, the same thing happened a few days ago over Venezuela, right after they had 2 major earthquakes. Now, I'm not saying it's connected or something's going to happen in New York, but it's definitely strange. This is New York. This is New York City. Last night. This isn't some AI-made video. This is an actual real video of the city. This is posted all over the place. I'm not sure if some news station took this or what, but you can find this video everywhere of New York City's red sky last night. To me, in life, when strange things happen, real strange things, like the skies over a major city turning red, right after the same thing happened in another country which by the way had just had 2 major earthquakes, it doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. I mean, it could be, and it probably is, but it just seems odd. Let me know what you think about this situation in New York City last night. If it's just a coincidence that the skies look just like they did in Venezuela, or could something else possibly be going on? Till next time, Shabadoo Booshkies, Shabadoo.
Israel just dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb in history on the people of Lebanon. Watch this.
I don't understand the point of bombing people, man. It's like whoever gives the shots to like send bombs and bomb places, you have to live that shame for your whole life, knowing that you murdered thousands of people without repentance, without shame, without anything, man. Honestly, that's a sad way of living. You must be really cold to do that, man. Honestly.
This is something that the news hasn't talked about, but there was a fan attending the World Cup game in Mexico City that claimed to have seen what they described as a mannequin person. Now, Santos, a young man from Mexico City, said that him and his friend were at the Azteca Stadium. Said they wandered off to use the restroom, and at some point in time, he had separated from his friend. Well, he was able to get a hold of him on the phone, and he told him to come meet him. So as he's standing there waiting for his friend near the bathrooms, he said he looked over and he connected eyes with a strange man. He was leaning up against the wall, sort of with his body contorted. And he said as he looked at his face, he didn't have any eyes. He didn't have a mouth. He didn't have a nose. There was just skin covering the eye sockets and covering the mouth hole. He said he kind of locked onto him and noticed that this guy was making very erratic movements. He turns his head and he looks again, and the guy is gone. But he sees his friend coming around the corner, and his friend comes up to him and is like, "Hey, did you see that guy that looked like a mannequin?" And both of them had seen the exact same thing at the stadium. And what's interesting is not too far from the stadium, there have been a couple of sightings of these mannequin people. Now, there was another man named Fuji. Fuji said he was having a party at his house, and he had invited some friends over. Well, his friends were running late, so he had the front door open. We said he started to hear this loud commotion coming from outside. They were screaming and yelling. And all of a sudden, he sees his friends run into the front door. And they are terrified. And they're like, "There is a man outside that looks like a mannequin." And he's like, "What are you talking about? You guys are messing with me." It's, "No, there's this guy out there that looks like a mannequin." So he goes out the front door. And he said, sure enough, standing in the street was this man with his arms behind his back, kind of twisted. And he said this man didn't have any facial features. He had no eyes. He had no mouth. And he looked like a mannequin. And he said that's when this man started to run away. Except he was walking on his tiptoes, sideways. And he said this man ran into an abandoned home that was a couple houses down. And so he goes over to his friends. And he said, someone's got to be playing a trick on us. Like, we need to confront this guy. So him and his friends, they walk over to this abandoned house. And they could see that the gate is padlocked. So they jump over the fence. And they went to the door and they started banging. Like, hey, come out here. Like, why are you messing with us? That's when they look in the upstairs window, and there is the man, his head turned down, looking at them. So they take off running, and they were completely terrified that he would return. And after that, he never seen this thing again, but he definitely felt something was off about that house. And in the same general area near the stadium, there was another report of an older gentleman who was working late one night, and he left about 12:30 to walk home. And as he's walking these dark streets, he said he began to feel a cold chill. And it felt like the energy in the area just kind of changed.
Bro, that's so weird because that just happened right now. I'm watching this and the whole vibe just changed out of nowhere. That's creepy.
He said that's when he turned, and standing in a closed down business, there was a mannequin. He said, man, that mannequin looks very real. As he walked closer, he could see it didn't have a face. It was wearing some sort of jacket. And as he gets within a couple feet of this window, he said that mannequin moved. So he turned around and began to take off. And he said that's when he heard the front door open. And as he looked back into the window, the mannequin was gone. But he could hear the sounds of footsteps running off in front of him. So what do you think? What are these mannequin people that they are seeing in Mexico City?
Right before the end of it all, Jesus
Crazy.
prophesied that there would be earthquakes all across the world, that there would be signs in the heavens above. Are we witnessing the fulfillment of this prophecy? It wasn't just in Venezuela that these earthquakes have hit, but it's all across the globe. And the frequencies have only increased. I know I'm not the only one that has sensed the shift. In fact, it was almost 5 years ago that my last day came. I cracked my skull in half after an accident. I saw Jesus face to face, and I understood when he actually miraculously sent me back to my body and sent me back to this earth, how little time we had, how precious my time is. I wake up every single day and I thank him for one more breath. You were the one that was on his mind on the cross. Your name was written on that nail. It was for you that he took that spear in his side. It was for you as he took those excruciating breaths, suffocating on the cross. He cried out for you because he loves you. So receive his salvation today, because soon all of this is about to come to a close. Soon you won't have any more time left. I wouldn't be surprised if we were the generation to see his coming. But the rapture isn't just about waiting for a moment. When you really understand the rapture, you will give him everything today. You will live and walk with him today, because your life is worth it to him. And you don't have to be so afraid of the end. You can rejoice, because we're about to come home. But until then, we need to win as many people as possible for his kingdom.
This guy right here posted why he believed that the U.S. warship blacked out the power in Jamaica. Take a listen to what he has to say.
Jamaican TikTokers are saying that the entire island is in complete darkness. And the only reason Jamaica would be going through a blackout is to black out the media from the coverage on the attack that is going to take place on Cuba at this very moment.
But then again, why would we even want to attack Cuba if that was the case?
Cuba's government appears to be disputing a report it poses a drone threat against the U.S.
Reports of a potential threat to our nation from Cuba. Axios is reporting the communist island nation is buying attack drones from Russia and Iran.
This is the craziest part. He posted that video on June 6th. 2 days later.
Well, Sandra, breaking moments ago, a magnitude 6.1 earthquake recorded off of the coast of Cuba.
Right there off the coast of Cuba.
70 miles or so northwest of Cuba.
Massive earthquake is felt in Florida.
We are getting reports of a magnitude 6.1 earthquake hitting off the coast of Cuba just a few moments ago. That shaking of the earthquake could be felt here in South Florida as well as in Orlando and Tampa.
Miami feels earthquake tremors? What?
Did you guys hear about this earthquake that happened in Cuba? It's like a once in a lifetime earthquake apparently, because there's not like tectonic plates at that point in the Gulf.
Is this unusual to see an earthquake in this region?
yes, it is rare.
This is the strongest earthquake ever recorded in the Gulf and felt right here in Florida.
But I need the conspiracy theorists to come out and tell me, like, what else is going on here.
Bet you haven't heard this. Here is an old photo of Erica Kirk's parents, Lori and Kent France. And here is a younger photo of them with a lady named Lilith Aquino. Now, Lilith Aquino is married to a Michael Aquino, who is quite literally the most prolific Satanist in our military. He specializes in psychological operations, and he actually founded the first ever tax-exempt, government-recognized satanic institutions called the Temple of Set. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that Aquino's house was raided in 1987, where they quite literally found videos of him performing satanic, ritualistic blank blank on children. And never once has any charges been filed against him because he's a CIA operative. Yeah. Here's an older photo of Michael and Lilith, just to throw in there. And also, a lot of people have suspicion that he might be their father, but I don't know. Either way, I'll just go ahead and end it with this clip.
They look alike. They look alike.
Colonel with the United States Army. Correct. Now, and how does the Army feel about you being head of the Temple of Set?
The Army is not about my religion for the entire span of my Army career, which began in 1968. And there was a reasonable amount of curiosity, as there has been all the way along, that what exactly is this strange and unusual thing? And I've talked about it much the same way that I've talked here today on your show about it. And other than that, the Army has paid very little attention to it.
So you just go about your Army duties and it's fine? Okay.
I remember the first time I played against him. And I walked out on the court and I looked at him, and for the first time in my life, a human being didn't look real to me.
Why would Iverson say something like that regarding Jordan? Now, we know that Jordan is the greatest of all time, right? The GOAT in the NBA, the greatest basketball player ever, right? But why would Iverson say something like that? That for the first time in his life, this dude didn't seem real. What is really going on here? Because this clip right here from back in the day, look at his arm. Look how long his arm is right here. Again, can you explain to me what is going on? Because you had Iverson at one point in time saying that Jordan didn't seem real, and then when you see stuff like this right here, you really begin to question things. Again, maybe this explains why he was so good at what he did. Maybe. I really don't know. Maybe it's nothing at all, because again, remember, this man is the GOAT, right?
Which one is cheaper? A cheap toothbrush is $2 a piece. A cheap miswak stick is $1.5 a piece. But there's more. You have to use toothpaste for a plastic toothbrush to work. But a miswak stick already has silica, fluoride, and alkaloids in it naturally. So no need for Colgate. That's 1 point for God's toothbrush. Which one is healthier? This study shows that toothbrushes release 2.3 million microplastic particles per year directly into your mouth. And because your gums are highly vascular, the plastic enters your blood similarly to an IV drip. Which one cleans better? When you clean your teeth with a toothbrush, the bacteria stays in the brush. Apparently, it can stack up to 11,900,000 colony-forming units of actively replicating bacteria. But the miswak stick chemically kills all the bacteria you put on it thanks to its natural antimicrobial properties.
Guys, this is the border between Canada and America. I'm in Canada right now. America is right there. I can literally walk into the United States. What type of security is this? Who's gonna stop? Who gonna stop me?
I talked to a demon once, and this is what he said. This is gonna be a very unusual story, and you might not even believe what I'm saying, but God is my witness that this actually happened. I was at a church, and after I was done preaching, there was an old man that came up to me and he said, "Hey, can you please come to my house? My oldest son is demon possessed. We don't know what to do. Can you come pray for him?" And when I came there was this man on a couch. He was laying on the couch and he was twisting and turning and growling and making weird noises. We start praying for him. We start declaring the name of Jesus, and the demon starts speaking. He's like, "Don't say that name, don't say that name." And he's mad, he's angry, he's twisting, he's turning. And we're praying, we're trying to cast this thing out. We're saying, in the name of Jesus, leave right now. But he just wouldn't. And then this demon keeps speaking to us, stop saying Jesus. I'm not making this up, I promise you, God is my witness. And then I got an idea. I'm like, okay, let me ask why the demon is in him. I'm like asking him, I'm like, speak to me right now in the name of Jesus and tell me, how did you get in? How did you enter this man? And this demon, he speaks and he's like, unforgiveness. And I'm like, okay, stop. So we calmed him down and we tried to get to the guy. We started talking to the guy because, you know, when you're demon possessed, you have like two different personalities. It's you talking and then you switch out to the demon talking through you. It's weird. So the guy starts speaking. I'm like, do you have unforgiveness in your heart? And he's like, I hate my wife. His wife left him recently and he had bitterness towards her. And I hate my father. I hate my dad. And his dad is standing right next to me. He's crying. He's like, yeah, we have some bad history. He's like, I hate them with all my heart. I wanna just kill them. I wanna do this crazy stuff to them. And I'm like, man, you need to let go. You see, unforgiveness is gonna open a door to demons. Unforgiveness is like, it's like putting a jar of honey on an anthill and opening the lid. That's what happens when your heart carries unforgiveness. It becomes this breeding ground for bacteria in the spiritual world, demons. You literally open the door to your heart for demons to come in and feast and destroy your life and just ruin everything for you. I'm telling you, it's that serious. If you have unforgiveness in your heart, if you're holding something against somebody, let go. Close those doors. Ask Jesus to help you forgive them. I promise you, you're making it worse for yourself. Let go and allow God to heal your heart. Demons are real. Don't give them space into your home, into your heart.
Can somebody explain to me what is going on with this new Apple commercial? I don't know what's going on with that picture behind them, but it kind of resembles them right here, right? As you can see, the lady, right, holding the phone, 3 people around her. The picture, the same thing. A lady holding a phone and 3 things around her. Something's going on with this commercial, and I really don't know what it is. Maybe it's just art, and this is how they set it up, but something seems to be...
That's a little too calculated for like a commercial, I'm gonna be honest with you. And why do the things on the painting look like demons surrounding the person on their phone, and they're trying to mirror that on the woman on the bench? That's super sus. That is super sus. They're basically telling us who they worship at this point.
Strange about this, that's all I'm saying. I mean, these are great phones. We all use them. We love them. They come in handy, right? Good cameras and all that. Why would they do a commercial like this? I don't know why. People are saying they...
I think the people in the gray suits are like representations of like maybe the demons, because the woman, she seems like she looks like she was on her phone on her own, you know. She's like not trying to show the people around her what she's seen on her phone. It's mostly on her, you know, like a solo thing, you know. That's what it's giving. But there's things around her that she doesn't feel or know. They are lurking, they're looking around, they're trying to get information, you know what I mean?
You know why? Shut up! Something could be going on here. Like I said, that doesn't mean anything's going on here. Could this mean that when we on our phone, those things are around us? I don't know. This is what people are saying, and I said, come on now, this is ridiculous. Don't say stuff like that, because that's not true. Not sure why this guy's on a tree, right? Not sure why, but he's on the tree. Something's going on with this commercial. Same thing here. I don't know why this person is on this person's shoulders. Maybe they try to give them a boost to get to a higher place. Shut up! It's not a game. It's kind of hard to look at your cell phone with 2 people on your shoulder while you're walking dogs. What is going on in this commercial? There's a lot going on. I don't know where to start. I'm just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. Cool commercial. Kind of strange, but, you know, this is what's going to make people watch and talk about it. I don't know about this. Let me know if you know about this. I'm out.
Do you believe in dinosaurs?
The entire dinosaur industry is a massive psyop designed to brainwash the masses into believing the theory of evolution. That is why dinosaurs are everywhere. Movies, games, books, kids' pajamas, lunchboxes. And we're supposed to believe they all died 65 million years ago from a single meteor. The evidence is flimsy at best. You know, until the 1850s, no culture anywhere in the world had any written or verbal evidence even suggesting the existence of dinosaurs. And it was only in the 1850s that the first fossils were found. Exactly when Darwin was coming up with his theory of evolution. You know, all the bones in museums are fake, right? They even tell you they're fake. That big T-Rex they got in the Natural History Museum, fake. Says so on a plaque right in front of it. These bones were made in China. No, the real bones, they're kept under lock and key. Far too valuable for plebs like us to see. No. Only top paleontologists are allowed to see it.
You have to understand what this is, like a show or a movie, but what he's saying is facts. There's no bones on display that are actually real. They're all made up. That's crazy. You know, the Bible only mentions the behemoth, it mentions dragons, and it also mentions Leviathan, which is like a water beast or whatever. In ancient civilizations, there's mentioned the behemoth, which is down in like South America still to this day, if you do your research, and then dragons. That's it. In all ancient civilization, there's no such thing as dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is a made-up fictional belief. There's no such thing. There's not a real reality of it. They indoctrinate you to get you to believe, oh, well, if there was dinosaurs, then, you know, there's other planets, and we're flying through space, and Earth, there's not really a God, because why would God create the dinosaur? See, it's all a logic to pull you away from God. When you understand we're in an enclosed system called the firmament, the waters below, the waters above, you realize everything God had created, he had told you. You just have to open up your eyes to see the truth. And the truth is the reality to believe the Bible. If you want to learn more about the Bible, plug into my story today.
Now, I didn't know that this wasn't common knowledge. And if you didn't know this, that means you don't follow me. But white people have always indulged in cannibalism. They ate their slaves, and they ate black people that were...
Hold up, what? Did I just hear what I heard? And I think I learned about this in the past. They used to eat their slaves? Why didn't you just get your slaves to get you food so you could eat instead of eating the slaves? I don't understand the Matthew. That's messed up. That's messed up. I don't think I could ever bring myself to eat another human. I don't even think I could bring myself to eat my cat, dog. I don't even think I can bring myself to eat, like, kill an animal. At that most. Eat a human being? Jeez, man.
For free after the Emancipation Proclamation, after lynchings. If you didn't know this, you don't follow me. And if you don't follow me, you should follow me. My name's Chemistry. I teach Black history. I'm not part of Hillman Talk. I just do this for fun and out of the passion that I have for spreading Black history. And just like everything else on my page, I'm not just feeding you a bunch of bullshit. There are a plethora of books that you can look into that proves that this is a fact. Books like The Delectable Negro, which covers recipes of how to eat Black people. Another book called Edible People, The Historical Consumption of Negroes and Foreigners, and I believe it was like The Cannibalistic Trade. And that's just two of many. But yeah, if you want to know more about the topic, if you scroll down on my page, I have a video called White People Ate Black People. It's very, very informative. So go ahead, learn you something, follow me. I teach Black history. Also tap my link tree. I have a nonprofit, a YouTube, all that good stuff.
Not even joking, I think I found the entrance to the back room, so I backtracked so I could film it from the beginning. So, on floor 53, that's this right here. And I thought to myself, I want to go to the top floor. And just
53, wow.
This is floor 53. Okay, so check this out.
That's a little too high for my liking. 53 floors. 53 floors of just rooms and elevators and offices. Jeez, man.
I've had to wait for an elevator forever, every single time I've entered it, but the first time I'm trying to get to the very top, this is what happens.
What is that? What is about to go down?
Okay. So, the top floor here, 60. Oh, shoot.
60. It's insane. Is that Lego behind him?
Okay, we made it. So sketchy. Why is it opening so slow like that? Okay. 60. We're up here.
A whole lot of nothing. Like, bro.
The creepiest thing is I keep hearing doors open and close, but there's literally no one here.
This looks like...
This is a good time to say that I am in no interest of self-harm and I'm in total sound mind.
Going a little too far, brother. Going a little too far.
So first of all, what?
Wow, you're on the 60th floor. What the heck? That's dangerous, man.
Out here. Crazy. Doesn't even look real. Doors open. Oh fuck. I just what it do?
Where's security at? Where's security at?
So we're supposed to be at the top floor. And this is how we get to the back rooms. Oh, there's more room upstairs. Typically towers have a roof, but okay, so it's 61.
61st.
Now I'm starting to see light come through. So complete pitch black staircase. And now we have light. This is where things got kind of weird for me.
62.
It's like they just stopped trying. And you can hear, it's like 6 in the morning. You can hear elevators going up and down, but there's no elevators going up and down.
Just keeps going.
What is that? What is that?
It looks like blood, sir.
That's blood. That's blood.
You gotta tell a trusted adult.
So, there's a lot of blood. A little disconcerting. That is definitely blood. And it goes for levels. It's like dripping. 65. More blood. Let's go take a peek. Where the
What?
fuck did this elevator come from?
Why is all the doors open? What the heck? This is confusing.
To the top, so. Now, in all those back room posts, they have like random creatures and monsters and stuff. Okay.
There's more floors, bro.
New elevator.
75.
And that was like literally, I hit the button and we're at floor 75.
That's a big door.
Penthouse. of script, looking kind of sketch.
Why is everything open, man?
This is different. This is really different. So we're at the top floor of this building that's labeled, and the elevator. Incredible.
That's a high building, man.
It feels like I'm in like a video game. It doesn't even feel real. So where's the top?
There's more stairs?
75. I don't speak Spanish. There's a sign in Spanish. Whoa. The ceiling just got a ton shorter. Like, look at this. My head is like just missing it. I'm 6 foot.
There's finally a door that's locked. Whoa. That's rare.
The ceilings keep getting shorter. Super creepy. And, okay. I think we're at the top. I wonder what did that. Is that water damage? Background number 77. I got goosebumps, man. Not sure if it could be like a window. I don't know, bro. Look, I'll go in here. I'm gonna need to let me know in the comments. What should I bring with me when we enter this new place?
Just go in it, bro.
What would you?
This guy's probably spent 15 to 20 minutes just getting up there from starting from what floor? 53 floor. And now he's gonna go back down, come back again when he gets more likes and more comments so he can make a new video just to go back in that door and for it to probably be locked. Just go in the door, man. You'll be fine. Don't worry. Put your sunglasses on or something, you know, you'll be good, buddy.
And it's important to remember that happiness comes and goes. It is so fleeting. But the joy of the Lord withstands all. It's important to remember that happiness comes and goes, and I pray that you find it.
Happiness comes and goes. Pray that you find happiness. This is kind of like the entire new Turning Point grift. It's just so icky. It's there. There's constantly kind of using the Bible as a shield, but kind of doing the, well, bless you, honey. Well, I'm going to pray for you, honey, where it's like very obvious that there's nothing godly here and they're actually really angry. And I do want to say this, that if that had happened to me, and might I offer that I also think that if that had happened to Charlie Kirk and someone had heckled him and said that you protect pedophiles, that's a great opportunity to be what Turning Point has always been and say, oh, you have a disagreement? come to the front of the line. That's the notorious thing that Charlie always said. You have a disagreement, come to the front of the line. I would love to debate you on saying that I protect pedophiles. I can debate that any day of the week, and I want to make sure that you're not just allowed to shout something that's fundamentally untrue. Now, what is that person actually speaking about? Well, they're speaking about these unique partnerships with shady people that have shady pasts. Erica's never answered for anything. She just has kind of arrived like a queen. Like, I don't have to answer anything. This was my husband's. I'm not qualified for anything. It doesn't matter. I'm taking it and it's mine. People don't like it. They resent it. And it doesn't matter how many Bible verses you spit out. People can see through this grift.
Looks like an orb, man.
Yo. That is a freaking orb. That's an orb being chased by a helicopter. What the hell? That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter. What the hell? I just now pulled up. Smells like something's burning. That is nuts.
This was on the White House page this morning. After the video I did yesterday, now they have an actual abduction, rapture of sorts. They're playing in our face right now. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 3, God says, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. And he said this after the increasing wickedness of man. We tend to skip over all of these little critical details in Scripture. 120 years could actually mean that that was a lifetime or a generation that flesh would have an end cap put on. But I think it was multiple meanings, which is what the Lord does. There's so many layers to his Scripture. And Noah warned for 120 years of the wrath that was coming. Remember when I did a video the other day about Moed and appointed times and seasons? In Leviticus chapter 25, it details Jubilees, which are counted by 7 sets of 7 years, which is 49 years, and then the 50th year was a year of rest, to give rest to the land. And that's the pattern that God uses. He created man and all of creation in those 6 days, and then on the 7th day, he rested. Jubilees are important to God. They mark themes of restoration, freedom, and justice. If we look at Jesus' life, since that time there have been 40 Jubilee cycles. And so if we go all the way back to the beginning of creation, we are very close approaching 120 Jubilees, which equals 6,000 years. And we know there is a millennial year, 1,000-year rest coming. I think our timeline was also prophesied in Moses. Moses died at 120 years old, and he never got to see the promised land. But you know who did? Right after he died, Joshua, almost like a foreshadowing of Yeshua, led the people to the promised land. I think our rest has been foretold throughout Scripture since the beginning of time. This right here, they're just messing with us. And I know they think it's funny, and it's just all advertisement and just more enhancement of what's happening with disclosure. But this is, to me, this is just a foreshadowing of what is about to come. And it's like they know. It's like they know, otherwise they wouldn't be messing around like this. But here's the thing. Since the beginning of time, nothing new under the sun, right? Man has tried to make himself God and tried to predict everything and tried to make everything happen in his own way, in his own time. And this back and forth with the signing of the peace treaty, the back and forth with the Strait of Hormuz and the wars and all of this right now that's been going on for, it feels like months and months and months. That is because man is trying to force this to come about. And it's going to come in God's perfect time. And nothing is going to rush him or delay him. It's going to be his perfect time. Our job is only to be ready when it does.
Like when you watch adult content, bro, in the spiritual realm, I've seen it 1,000 times. When people do lustful things in the streets or when they watch adult content or whatever, there's these two nasty, defiled, slug, fat carcass demons that are secreting, dude, things you can't, and they're so gross, they moan, but when they moan, they sound like a 40-year-old man in his parents' basement. They're so sick, they are lust. That is what lust is. So the next time you're watching adult content, just know you're submerging yourself in a fat, nasty, disgusting, coward, defiled, secreting old fat man in someone's basement, plus demon times 1,000. Like, that is what's covering you. But you think it's clean and beautiful because of what you're watching on the screen. No, you're being submerged in the most defiled, cowardly spirit there ever was. Okay, so in the middle of like what you're doing, pleasuring yourself with the content or whatever you're doing sinfully, those demons, they sleep with you. You're defiling yourself with them. You're submerging yourself in them. They're the ones filling you with the thoughts and driving your train of thought to the climax. All of them, it's all spiritual, it's all them. Then when you do, they take a snapshot of you. They take that spiritual snapshot and they slither up to the foot of the Antichrist beast, who's even much more disgusting than them. And they put it at his feet, and it's their way of like having sex with the Antichrist beast. It's their way. They're moaning and offering it to the beast. The beast moans back in his disgusting ways, and it's just so sick. You guys have no idea what you are involving yourself in. I'm trying to wake everybody up, and they go, this guy's out of his mind, psychotic. You know what? It's fine. But when we're facing Jesus Christ and you're looking back at all the sin, you're going to realize it was really wicked. God told you not to do it for a reason. He wasn't saying not to do it, and there wasn't repercussions. There's sick repercussions. You're going to find out you've been sleeping with demons, submerging yourselves in demons. The depression is a demon. The lust is demons. The anxiety is full of demons. It's demons submerging themselves in you. It's unholy spirits baptizing you, taking your time, your hope, your wants, your future. Even the hope, the doubt, the fear, the worry, the stress, everything. That's all demons. It's demons' way of being the God of your life. Or you could let God be the God of your life by going, I will not fear. I break the lust in Jesus' mighty name. No longer do you have control over me. I went from being an ant in someone's ant farm to being authoritative with keys to the kingdom of heaven. And Satan, you will bow to the name of Jesus Christ that I adore, that has washed me in his blood, made me new. No longer am I a defiled creature that bows to demons. I am a man of God. I separate myself completely from that death, and I worship Jesus Christ. How much do I got to get into it, guys? Do I got to keep reminding you every day that it's wicked and foul and disgusting?
Wow. That was deep. That was deep. Very, very deep. There's always... I saw this one video that really caught my eye, and it's the truth about what demons are, you know? Like, demons, they literally merge themselves into your mind, and then they disguise themselves as your voice, your eternal voice, and then they prompt all these negative things inside you, prompt all these things that they want you to do. And that's literally what demons are, man. They're more realer than what we think, you know? And a lot of the times we think it's our voice, but it's not actually our voice. We think that the vices we have are a part of our personality default, but that it isn't, you know? It's these demons that are trying to torment us. That's why we need a savior, and our savior is Yahushua HaMashiach, and we can find full faith, full reassurance, full freedom in him. That's why he came to this earth, to die on the cross for us, you know? And I can find peace in that every single day, you know? That's why he gave us free will for a reason, to use that free will to have faith in him, you know? And to choose if we want him or not. That's really what love is, honestly. So yeah, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a sub and a like if you like this type of content. And remember, there's a God who loves you, and his name is Yahushua HaMashiach, and his father sent him, Yahuwah, for you to have a relationship with him, for you to know that you are forgiven from your sins, and he's not here to judge you. Seek him in the secret place, spend time with him, and he will reveal himself to you slowly, slowly, slowly. He's a gentleman, and he cares about you. All right, guys, see you in the next one. Peace.